Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. And nobody told me until the last minute I was going to have to follow Barry. I almost called him Barry Sanders. That's the quarterback wife in me. I almost called him Barry Sanders. Rodney Peete would be so mortified. Bernie Sanders, Senator Sanders, that was so cool. I was a little, and tried to get my picture backstage, was unsuccessful, but that's okay. That's all right. I really love the introduction. You got a kind of a little taste of my background, but I wanted to share some other things about me. I was born in Philadelphia, and got Philly fans here? Yep, born in, go Eagles, go Birds. Yes, quick story. My husband played for the Eagles for about 5 years. You know, when you're from Philly, you know how we Eagles fans are. We're a little over the top. And your husband is the quarterback, then all your cousins come and they want free tickets, right? We're in the stands, and then, you know, I don't know, he threw an interception or something, and I heard this person yell, "Pete, you suck." And I turned around, it was my Aunt Jane. So fresh. So had a really odd childhood between public school in Philly and public school in Malibu. And it was different, but I feel like I learned a lot. I was able to meet so many different people of different backgrounds, because in Philly, my neighborhood was multicultural. I mean, we had everybody on our block in Mount Airy, everybody. And then in Malibu, I was the only black kid in the whole town. And Sesame Street was so iconic in making sure to gear that programming towards kids in the inner cities, and it was great. And my dad having this job of being the first person to say, "Hi, I'm Gordon, and welcome to Sesame Street. And by the way, here's my neighbor Big Bird, and here's Oscar the Grouch, and here's Grover." And that was pretty cool if you are 6 years old, your daddy has that gig, right? By the way, I really wanted to go on because everybody my age wanted to go on Sesame Street, and I had one line, and I blew my one line. I was supposed to say, "Hi, Gordon," and I kept saying, "Hi, Daddy." And later on, when my father was just 40, in his mid-40s, he was diagnosed with young onset Parkinson's disease. Now, this was in the 80s. We didn't have a Muhammad Ali yet or a Michael J. Fox. We didn't know what Parkinson's was. I was in college. I went to the library. I had to look at what Parkinson's was on my kids now. They're like, "Mom, why didn't you just Google it?" I'm like, "No, I had to look up microfiche." They were like, "What is that?" I was like, "Go Google that and figure that out." And our son RJ was born, and we had a boy-girl twins, and he was diagnosed with autism probably about when he was about 2.5 or 3. And that was a tough time, because that was a day we heard something that we tried to push past. We heard the never day. I mean, this developmental pediatrician told us a laundry list of things that our son would never do. This boy was 3. He would never mainstream in school. He would never speak very well. He would never have friends. He would never drive. He would never, you name it, she said he would never do it. He would never say, "I love you." He would never play sports. You know, for Rodney, that was like, oh my God, what? So this was a really difficult transition as new parents. But what I learned on that day was I would never give up on this kid. And I went to work and to battle for him. Thank you. So important. You know, I always say that I would never change my son RJ for the world, but I would always try to change the world for RJ. And I think as parents, because RJ, the kid that they said would never do a whole lot of things, is now a clubhouse attendant for the Los Angeles Dodgers. He has his own money. He has his own bank account. He drives. He would be really embarrassed if I told you that I'm trying to find him a girlfriend. That's the one area that he's kind of struggling in still. But you know, our story and our RJ is a really beautiful story. But at Hollywood Foundation, we wanted to find other RJs. We wanted to lobby other Major League Baseball teams to hire inclusively and to include our kids, because they know how to do things. You just have to give them support. What's so beautiful now is, even though RJ is sort of a reluctant hero, He was featured on a show called Real Sports with Brian Gumbel, which is off now, which was an amazing show, one of my favorite shows. It ran 29 years, and the very last season, they came to Dodger Stadium to shoot a story about him. And he was mortified. He doesn't want any attention on him. He just wants to go do his laundry. By the way, this man can do laundry for an entire baseball team, but can't wash one pair of underwear at home. Listen to us crazy gangster moms when we're doing too much. I used to say, they don't roll their eyes when they see you coming, then you're not doing your job. We do. So reconnect with the why. Support families that you see out there with special needs kids and understand their struggles, and know that what you're doing is so valuable. And when I do run for school board, I'm going to reach out to all of you for some advice, because I'm going to need it. Thank you so much.